solve using elimination. So we have the systems of equations, and the first equation is 3x minus y equals 7, and the second equation is 2x plus y equals 3. Now remember, by elimination, what we can do is we can add these equations together. Right? But you notice, right, what is the coefficient of this y? Right, it's -1. And the coefficient of this y is +1. So what happens when we add these two equations together? Okay, so 3x plus 2x is 5x. And this is the key point here, right? What happens to -y plus y? Right, they actually just cancels out. So we get 5x equals 10. And that turns out pretty good, right? Because we can actually just solve this for x. We can divide both sides by 5, right? That'll cancel out the 5's over there, so we get x is equal to 2. Okay? So we found the x value. Okay, now what we want to do, remember, our solution should be an ordered pair. Okay, so when x is equal to 2, there must be some corresponding y value. Well, how do we find that corresponding y value? Remember, we have two equations, right? So we should be able to plug x equals 2 back into the equation and solve for y. And at this point, you're probably thinking, well, there's two equations. Do I have to plug it back into both? And the answer is no. Okay, you only need to plug this into one of the equations, and then we should be able to get the corresponding y value. All right, just for fun here, I'll plug it into both. All right, so if you plug in the 2 into the top equation, right, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus y is equal to 7. So we can subtract the 6 to both sides. That'll cancel out the 6. So we get -y equals 1. And if we divide both sides by -1, then y equals -1. Okay. So when x is equal to 2, y is equal to -1. And that should be our solution. Okay. Now just for fun, let's plug in the 2 into the bottom equation, right? 2 times 2 plus y is equal to 3, right? This is equal to 4. And notice what happens. When we subtract the 4 to both sides, notice what we end up with, right? Okay. The 4's cancels out. We get y equals -1, which we expect, right? It should work for both. And that should make sense as a system of equations, right? What does that mean? It means that 2, -1 is a point on both lines, and if you drew the sketch of both of these lines, they would intersect at this ordered pair.